this is Madhumathi from Department of Food Technology. So in this topic, I'm here to discuss something about drying, its principles and the theory behind drying. So what do you mean by drying? And the basic principles of drying is that drying is nothing but the removal of moisture content in order to make it a safe level by the application of heat. And dehydration refers to the removal of moisture until it is nearly bone dry. And in order to maintain the quality of grains during storage, also to prevent the growth of bacteria, fungi and the development of other insects and the mites. Also, the heat is being applied mainly by heated air naturally or artificially, and the vapor pressure or the concentration. Okay, the vapor pressure or the concentration gradient causes the movement of the moisture from inside to the kernel to the surface and when the moisture is evaporated. And the drying capacity of the air depends on air temperature, moisture content of the grain and relative humidity of the drying air. Also, the safe temperature for paddy is 45 and for wheat is 60. So what happens is when the temperature exceeds, it causes both physical and chemical damages. So these are the basic principles. And coming to the importance of drying, the drying mainly permits long time storage of grains without any spoilage, and also it will permit continuous supply of the product throughout the year, and also will help to permit early harvest, which reduces the field damage and the losses due to shattering. Also, it will help the farmers to have a better quality product and also makes available of the grains even during the off seasons. And what's behind the drying theory is nothing but the main thing is due to the change in the vapor pressure and also due to the difference in the atmospheric vapor pressure, the theory behind this works. So convection process in which the moisture from the product is removed. So this is the main theory behind the process of drying. And also the water content of any agricultural produce is given in terms of MC, that is the moisture content only. They either gain or lose moisture as per the requirement of the atmosphere. So the moisture migration, that is from into or from any product, is mainly dependent on the difference in the vapor pressure. So as I told, that is between the atmosphere and the product vapor pressure only the moisture migration plays a major role. So in that case, if the vapor pressure of the grain is greater, so if the vapor pressure of the grain is greater than atmospheric vapor pressure, then the transfer of moisture from grain to atmosphere takes place. So the same vice versa, if it like the same vapor pressure is greater than the atmospheric vapor pressure, the grain absorbs the moisture from the atmosphere. So there are three drying rate periods, that is a constant rate, first falling and the second falling rate. So what do you mean by constant rate period? So here mainly as I told, the same thing, the moisture migration takes place, but the thing is the critical moisture content plays the major role in the constant rate period. Here the moisture migration takes place from inside of the product to its surface, and it is almost equal to the other rate of. So this period will continue till critical moisture is reached. As I told, critical moisture is nothing but the moisture content of any product where constant rate drying will start and the stop and the falling rate will start. This is a very short period for any agricultural produce, and drying of sand and the washed seeds mainly takes place in this constant rate period only. And what is the falling rate period? So this before going to the falling rate period, here we are dividing into first falling and the second falling. So falling rate period is also mostly for all the agriculture products we are drying using the falling rate. So movement and the diffusion of moisture in interior of the grains will control the entire drying process. And movement and the diffusion, as I told, the migration of the moisture from interior of the grains to the upper surface due to water vapor diffusion. So here the removal of moisture from the surface takes place. It is divided into two, that's the first falling and the second falling. So what do we mean by first falling rate is nothing but unsaturated surface drying. Here the drying rate will decrease. So here the drying rate will decrease because of the decreases in the wet surface area, and the fraction of wet surface area decreases to 0, where the first falling rate will end. Second falling rate is nothing but the subsurface evaporation process takes place, and it will continue until the equilibrium moisture state is reached. So overall the mechanism of drying process is nothing but movement of the moisture is only taking place whatever drying process we adopt. So what happens is, due to the capillary flow, liquid diffusion, surface diffusion, vapor diffusion, thermal diffusion and hydrodynamic flow difference, all the mechanism of drying process takes place. So coming to the capillary flow is nothing but the liquid movement due to surface forces. Liquid diffusion is nothing but due to the concentration of the moisture difference, the liquid movement takes place. And the same thing, surface diffusion takes place due to the moisture diffusion of the pore spaces. And vapor diffusion is the vapor movement due to the moisture concentration difference, and the same thing due to the temperature difference, when there is a vapor movement, thermal diffusion takes place. Hydrodynamic flow is nothing but the vapor and the both water movement due to the total pressure difference. So thank you.